Here's a beautiful fawn laying down in the yard in the shade of the shed, and I've never seen her mother with her, and we have seen this fawn navigating in the woods across the road for, I don't know, maybe 2 months or more. It was very small when we first saw it, and I think it's really enjoying sitting there and looking at the waterfall and hearing the sound of the water. The fawn has been eating the crab apples from our crabapple tree and has been eating some tall grass in the backyard. These are very tart crab apples. We're really glad that we saved some on the ground, and there's still plenty more in the crab apple tree for the wildlife and the butterflies. They really love the crab apples too. About every step this fawn takes, she is suffering with her back legs, and I don't know if it's deer ticks, flies, or sickness from the industrial spraying, or the Roundup that people sprays on their lawns, or the fact that they feed the deer the Roundup ready food that us humans eat. This year, I have seen one deer with mucus pouring out of its mouth, and I don't know if that is wasting disease, but deer in residential areas that are fed people food and cereals and junk food are more apt to have these wasting diseases and all kind of health issues and diseases, just like humans do from eating the Roundup Ready foods and cereals and drinking the fluoride water from bird baths and eating the grass that has been sprayed with Roundup. So they've got a lot against them in residential areas because of so much toxicity. Don't know if the mother of this fawn had the wasting disease, and that may have been a reason why she abandoned this baby. I don't know if the wasting disease could be transmitted to the baby fawn. Many well-meaning people will take fawns away from the mother thinking that the baby is an orphan, and the mother can be hiding nearby but look like, that the baby's abandoned. So that's an issue, and there are ways, there are signs, there's 5 signs that indicate if the fawn is in trouble. The 5 C's are crying, and if they're cold, if they're coming toward you, if they're covered with blood or insects, or if they're caught by a cat or a dog. Yesterday, a guy got out of his car and tried to sneak up on this little fawn while it was eating in the neighbor's yard. So I opened the window to make some noise to alert the fawn and the guy, and he did leave, and the fawn did go over and hide in a bush in the neighbor's yard. This fawn is very vulnerable, as we have never seen the fawn with her mother, even when she was much younger. This baby fawn travels right in the middle of the day. It saunters all across the road, and yesterday 2 cars stopped. But there's a lot of speeding on this road, and a lot of people oblivious to wildlife trying to cross the road. It's very stressful for us seeing this baby fawn just foraging right alongside the road with cars zipping by in the middle of the day. Very stressful. A lot of wildlife are just not fast enough to get across roads, especially when people are speeding. But like turtles, they're slow getting across the road, and they're totally dependent on people being watchful for them, and especially too baby fawns and orphan baby fawns. Chemical companies claim their products from their industry studies are safe, but we now know that is not true. It is becoming more and more obvious the health of this nation, the U.S., is falling prey to the chemical companies, poisoning our land and food and water supply. She has really eaten a lot of these tart crab apples and seems to really enjoy them. She's now holding up her front foot some. She still seems to be suffering with her legs. This baby fawn has been here for 6 days, and this is the first time we've seen the fawn drinking from the pond, and I think this baby has adopted us. Because this has been 6 days where she spent the night with us and a good part of the day also. And we've seen this baby, surely it's been more than 2 months. We've seen this baby when it was really, really small, foraging on its own across the road. I just don't know what's happened to the mother. And she seeks shade in our yard, and then she sleeps under the crabapple tree every night. At least it has cooled down today, but oh, it's been so hot and so dry. I wish I knew how to help her. She suffered so with her legs. They're just constantly bothering her. I don't know if her problem with her legs or deer ticks, flies, or wasting disease, or one of the many diseases that deer can have in residential areas due to the Roundup lawns and industrial spraying and the human Roundup ready foods and drinking the fluoride water that's in bird baths. Sometimes we use the fluoride in the bird baths, and sometimes we use the water that we collect from rainwater. We've turned our backyard into a haven for wild critters. And we've had frogs and tadpoles in the pond, but we also have two garter snakes. And I don't see frogs anymore, and I don't see tadpoles, sadly. And LP has limited his weed whacking in the backyard because that is a turtle and wildlife's worst enemy, and humans. Sadly, the neighbor heard a car door and saw traffic backed up and the fawn disappeared, and I can only hope it was wildlife management that took and helped the fawn.